Good afternoon, Eagles. This is Mariceli Santiago, Director of Student Life and Activities, welcoming you to our presentation for today. We are right now giving the presentation with regards to STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And we have quite a few faculty here live and ready to tell you all about the programs, answer any questions that you may have. So get ready to have fun, listen to what they have to say, and please come with your questions. We love it when you participate and let us know what's going on and what your thoughts, ideas, and all that fun stuff is. So I'm just going to see if everybody would just say their name and actually introduce yourselves.
Okay, I'm going to lead off. I'm Dr. Andrea Foskett. I'm the Department Chair, Science and Agriculture. And then if the rest of my faculty could go ahead and introduce themselves, then we'll move on to computer science and math as well.
I'm Dr. Daniel Wegert. I'm an instructor in geology.
I'm Mr. Keaton Ehrig. I'm the agriculture program coordinator and teach agriculture here at Central Texas College.
Math?
Sorry, I didn't know if we were going technology. My name is Dr. Cruzili. I'm the mathematics department chair. I teach mathematics, and then we also have engineering within our department.
Hi, my name is Sam Jackson. I am the engineering program coordinator here at Central Texas College.
Computer science?
Sorry about that, guys. I wasn't sure how many faculty you had, Andrea. I am Dr. Oser. I am the chair of Computer Information Technology and Systems.
And anyone else on our session that wants to introduce themselves? Charlotte and Aubrey, maybe?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Charlotte Wesley. I'm the Advising and Success Coordinator in Student Success and Persistence. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, I'm Aubrey. I'm the Residence Hall Manager and also in Student Success and Persistence.
Perfect. I think we've all introduced ourselves, so I'm going to go ahead and start talking about our programs within the STEM career cluster. We'll go ahead and start with science and agriculture first, and then kind of keep advancing through the slides. I'll cue you in. If you're watching the presentation, of course, you'll need to let me know when to advance slides as well. So let's get started with the science part first. Okay. So this is just our overall contact information. Again, I'm the department chair. My information's on there. Agriculture is also part of our department. And so Mr. Keaton Ehrig, who's our ag program coordinator, his information's also on this slide. I'm going to hand this off to Dr. Wegert, who will advance through the science portion of the programs.
Hello. So in science and agriculture, we have a number of different courses. We offer courses in biology, chemistry, environmental science, geology, physics, astronomy, and then again, the ag program is part of our department as well. Next slide, please. And in general, the sciences are a really in-demand field. There's a lot of different employers out there looking for science majors. And a lot of these jobs have very high wages that are associated with them because there's a high demand, but not a high supply. And also numerous crossover opportunities. So opportunities to go into another field or take a degree in geology or any of the other sciences and cross over into other fields. Next slide, please. And here at CTC, everything we're doing is trying to prepare you for an Associates of Science degree that is designed to lead to a Bachelor's of Science degree from a major university. So we're trying to get you ready as a stepping stone to go to the university, get your bachelor's degree, and hopefully even go beyond there. Next slide. So the associates that we have at the moment, we have 2 biology associates of science degrees in organismal biology, 1 in human biology, We have a chemistry associate of science, an associate of science in environmental science, and an associate of science in geology. Now, again, who's hiring? Lots of people. Government agencies are always looking for us. Universities are looking for science majors. Mining companies, manufacturing companies, research labs. And there's also, next slide, please, a lot of crossover opportunities into things like forensic science, law, politics, engineering, all sorts of opportunities to take a science degree and branch out. Next slide, please.
Mr. Eric.
Awesome. So I'm up. So I'm in charge of the ag program. We're very fortunate here at Central Texas College to have I'm gonna call it a working lab where we get to interact with live animals either on the equine side, if you're on the equine degree plan, or on beef cows, because the school has a small beef cattle herd, and we have a pretty good sized farm and ranch center that we get to utilize within our classes. So some of our classes are outside. We get to interact with nature depending on which course we're taking and see how it works, firsthand. Next slide, please. We also have a greenhouse for those students that are interested in a horticulture type degree, or some classes are offered there. Different classes are all, we do some different experiments in there, and it's just a great hands-on experience, a great teaching tool for me, and a great learning tool for the student to be able to grow things, different propagation techniques, different methods. We typically try to have a plant sale once or twice a year, and where we get to kind of bring to light all the great things that our students have grown throughout the year or semester. Next slide, please. Now, when we look at the benefits of an agriculture degree, very, very high demand. We're very lucky in our location. There's a lot of different opportunities that are even coming new into town or into our area, our local area, plus nationwide. The same people that are hiring that Dr. Weggert talked about previously are hiring for ag jobs. The government, mining agencies are looking for people to reclaim some old mines and be able to plant grass and be an agronomist for that type of situation. There is a lot of opportunity out there across the U.S., in Texas, and just here locally. Now, there's also opportunities to be your own boss. If you love gardening, have a large garden, you're able to sell that produce in several different ways, whether it be in a co-op setting or in a farmer's market setting. You have the opportunity to be your own boss, grow your own produce for yourself, plus to sell to yourself or to neighbors, or to your local community. And you get to work outside, right? Today is a wonderful day. If you're involved in agriculture, today is not a bad day. If you're here in Central Texas, it rained today. You can't yuck in my yum today. I don't care what you say to me. It rained this morning, so we're going to take that as a positive thing and move forward. We're one step closer to out of the drought. But anything you would learn here at Central Texas College, we would have a worldwide application towards it, being able to apply it here, not just here, but everywhere. When you look at a plant works the same here as it does in Australia. It doesn't turn backwards, anything like that. It works out great. So it's a great opportunity to learn and to broaden your horizons. And everybody in the ag industry typically likes to work with their hands, get to play in the dirt, get to work on tractors, get grease under your fingernails, all the good things. And that's a very fulfilling thing for a lot of folks, to be able to work with their hands and see their success grow over time. And it's always great to grow your own food because you know where it comes from. For one, that's a big draw. Plus, you get to share it with your neighbors. And I've never seen a neighbor hated because they were giving their produce away to their neighbors, whether it be tomatoes, cucumbers, or even a good old watermelon on a good hot day. So a lot of opportunity there. Next slide, please. So we have a couple of certificates of completion, very much a 1 year, 2 semester type certificate that you could get in ag industries or production technology. And so in our outfit here at Central Texas College in the Ag program, you can take these two, and then if you wish to still continue your education, we can lead that into go ahead and advance. Every class you take in that certificate would join into an Associates of Science or Associates of Applied Science degree. So you kind of get your feet wet in the water. Hey, we're going to get this certificate, and then you know what? We're going to do bigger and better things. We're going to go get that Associates of Science or Applied Science, and we can make those two pretty much work towards either equine management, ag production, horticulture management. And so most of these classes will prepare you for a transfer to a university to earn a bachelor's degree if that's what you so choose. We currently have a couple of students that are doing that. They're working on their Associates of Science in Agriculture, and they are moving forward, and their plans are go to a large 4-year institution to get a full bachelor's degree, and a couple of them are even eyeing a master's degree later on. So the sky is the limit from here. We just like to set you up on a great foundation, like building any good building or house. We want you to get you set up on the right path and help you move forward to meet your educational goals through your educational journey. Next slide, please.
So I think this kind of comes back full circle with the ag and the science degrees. You can kind of see how much on average the salary would be for any of these disciplines. Several listed here: biologist, a chemist, if you were interested in physics, or an astronomy, or a physicist. Geologist salaries are also on there. So several different things, including your ag salaries as well. And let Mr. Eric comment on that.
Yep. And don't, when you see that average salary of about 30,000, you're like, that's not a whole lot of pennies in the bank at the end of the day, right? I get it. But when we think about that number, that's even factoring in the whole ag community, where we're looking at very, very low wage earners, from just the hand harvesting of crops because we can't mechanically do it, all the way up to people that are PhD level. So when we look at that average, it looks low, but remember that's an average. So there's always a high end to any average. If I'm wrong on the math, folks, please correct me. But there's always a high point to an average, from the calculation. So please understand that that's that can definitely, it can only go up from there. There's a lot of opportunity there. So just please keep that in mind as you look at that. Don't let that discourage you, because you can do pretty well for yourself and move forward with some good hard work.
Perfect. I think that wraps up the science and ag portion of this STEM presentation. Going to move forward, Dr. Ozer, computer systems and information technology. It's yours.
Bam. Okay. So first I wanted to start out explaining that our department is kind of blended between the workforce and the transferable degrees. So you'll find that we have STEM areas and we also have business areas. Overall, our department covers study and development of computers, networks, hardware, software, databases, and more. However, the computer science core is about using the computers to solve problems and writing that code that tells the computer what to do, as well as how to understand the mathematical and logical concepts behind those instructions. Next slide, please. So overall, computer science is about solving the problems, using the computers in coding, and implementing the solutions. And what I like to tell students is computer scientists can be the architects who design the house, but don't have to build the whole thing. Next slide. We have one AS fully transferable to any 4-year public institution in the state of Texas. It's called the Computer Science AS. It basically gives you the foundations of all the coding and the theory behind how computers are structured and how they think and work. Next slide. Our sample jobs I have for earnings, you can be a web developer, software developer. This is not a finite list. There's so many different areas that you can apply a computer science degree to, but these are just a few. We have very web developers. They do programming. You wouldn't think that, but we merge in through web developing to marketing. Software developers can be anything from applications on a phone to a computer to even building games. And then you've got the systems engineers and architects, which are what I referred to before, that do the foundational build before everyone else comes in to do their work. As you can see, it's a pretty profitable field. My averages are pretty high. So come on over and join me. That's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Oser. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt, Dr. Cruz-Sealy.
All right, let's rock it. All right, so we're in the mathematics department, and under my my department, we have mathematics, of course, and then we have also engineering, robotics, and we have drafting and design. So I need to update that. So we have drafting and design. So whenever, if you are interested in that program as well, feel free to come on over. Next slide, please. So we offer an Associates of Science degree in mathematics. Our courses are we offer the courses that you're going to need for a degree plan, like math, the college algebra, contemporary, or statistics, and those will help with your degree plan. But then within our own program, you're going to take college algebra all through the way through calculus. You're going to take linear algebra, differential equations, which are super fun classes to take. So feel free to come on over. We are very transferable. So most of the, mostly all, I can't think of one right now, institution in Texas, one college that doesn't take one of our, at least one of our courses. It's very transferable credit. Next slide. So potential careers in mathematics, you can become an actuary. And so data analyst, operations researcher, these are people who work for like insurance companies who check the mathematics, financial advisors, things of that nature. And so our averages as far as potential earnings are also pretty high. Just a recommendation, if you have any outliers in your values, you might want to use the median instead of using the average. That's just so these are our averages that are considering everybody in that field. And it's always growing. It is definitely they're always in need of somebody who has a mathematics background. Next slide. Why math at CTC? We have a video. We don't have to watch it.
Okay.
Next slide. And
Engineering?
now we have engineering.
So we have an associate degree in engineering at Central Texas College. We actually, the student is prepare the student if they want to transfer to a four-year institution to earn their bachelor degree in engineering. And as you know, the engineers is high demand, area field that companies look for engineers. We basically engineering program is under mathematics department because, as you know, engineers use math a lot. So so that's why we are under the mathematics department. Okay, next slides. We have also now, as I mentioned, like we prepare the student to transfer to a foreign institution. We have a pathway now with Texas A&M Central Texas. So that's when the student finish an associate degree at CTC, they can apply to Texas A&M Central Texas to earn their bachelor degree in mechanical engineering technology. There is also different areas in engineering. There is aerospace, biomedical, civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, petroleum engineering. And as you see, the approximate salary is $90,000, and the market is always growing.
I guess that's a video too.
Yes, it's a video.
Okay. Robotics?
So also under the mathematics department, we have the robotics degree. Okay, and the student, they can earn an associate degree in robotics, and also we have a level 1 certificate in robotics. So it's basically engineering and robotics and drafting and design programs. They are different programs, but there is a big relation between all of them. So for example, the student, they can decide if they want to finish like a bachelor degree in engineering, and they take a certificate in drafting or a certificate in robotics. They are all under the same department because of the relation between all these programs. Next slide. Also, this is a video.
I think that wraps up our presentation of our programs within the science, technology, the computer science, robotics, math, all of these different fields. So over to you, Mariceli.
So one of the I don't have specific questions from anybody right now, but I will say this, that just like everybody's kind of been mentioning, these are all interrelated in one way or another. And being able to use the skills maybe from the math department, you can use those in the science department, you can use those in the different fields that are available. So that's why we group them together in this category, because this whole field really works closely together. As time goes by, it just seems to be more and more enmeshed. I wanted to see if maybe, I don't know, I think Dr. Cruz-Sealy, because I oversee student life and activities, you have a club and organization in your department that can help you kind of explore some of these things, correct?
Absolutely. We would love for everybody to join the math club, math and engineering club. And so what we do in the math and engineering club is like day to day, we meet every Tuesday this term. So if you would want to come by and check it out. And so what they do is they literally do what we talked about, like research where we can use this. They talk about problems that are happening in the world right now and how we can use mathematics, science, engineering to kind of brainstorm to solve these problems. And then they always try to come up with like a really good project. And we have fun too. Like we learned how to play new games. Like there's different Japanese chess that I didn't know existed. And so they come together and they learn how to play these kind of games. And you think about it, you guys, it's not only, I always want to throw this out there. It's not only about like the mathematics and things like that. You really want to think about the skills that you're learning when we're doing this, right? And I know I'm totally, y'all think I'm totally biased, but STEM is where it's at. Okay. I'm just like, STEM is where it's at. This is what's growing. We have things, and especially in our area, we have things growing like Tesla. Tesla is now here. Do you know what I mean? And Tesla's going to be using, engineering, drafting, mathematics, science, computer technology, like all of that is required to be and you want to be, competent in those areas to work for companies like Tesla and Apple and, AT&T and Samsung. Like if you want to be profitable, STEM is where it's at. Okay. And
Yes.
it's cool.
And I think Keaton had to leave, but I know that he also has an ag club and he's being pretty
Yes.
active in it. And I'm particularly fond of his club, mostly because for Halloween, his students dress up as cows, and don't judge me.
Yes, that's correct. We do have an ag club. We, I guess, took a little break during the pandemic, but now we are rocking and rolling. So we are looking for students, more students interested in our different ag certificates and programs, and also just to be involved with the ag club activities. They do a lot of field trips. They go to different companies close by, and also like field trips, especially like to understand new technologies, like they try to understand the hydroponic system that's pretty up and coming right now for production of different produce, lettuce and strawberries and what have you. So there's a lot of different opportunities with the club to participate in different learning, hands-on as well. Also from the beef production side of things, but mostly also on the horticultural side of things. So if you do have any questions about the Ag Club, I'd recommend you contact Mr. Eric, and I'll go ahead and put his information in the chat as well.
Yes, and I know I have seen the benefit, and it's not just because I oversee it, but I truly believe in experiential learning, and this is the kind of stuff that you can get. These departments will get down and dirty and help you with stuff. And I know Dr. Oser's area has a specific area where you can actually go in there and you can get assistance with like your computer classes and has a lab there. I know the math department has that as well. They have a whole math lab um, dedicated to that. So I don't know if maybe Dr. Oser, do you want to kind of, if you have an opportunity to maybe talking about some of the things that are available for your students that go beyond just the classes?
Yeah, sure. We have several lab assistants on staff. We kind of try to categorize them according to their abilities. So students can come in during all of our business hours, which is not the college hours. We're open until 8 in the labs, and get assistance with any type of computer classes that they have. We have what we affectionately call the morgue, where all the dead computers lay, where we can have you go in there and tear something apart and put it back together if you'd like. We also have just now started offering our lab assistants to do online tutoring. You just have to reach out to the department so we can get it scheduled and set up. So our lab assistants will be able to connect with students via a WebEx or a Blackboard Connect session to give guidance that way as well.
Great, great, great. And then Sam, can you maybe talk a little bit about the math lab? Because I know that that's something we totally want to highlight.
Actually, I want to talk first about
Oh.
the drafting and design program because there was no slides about it. So drafting and design is also a program that we have under the mathematics department. And in this program, we teach the student, like, for example, some classes will show them how they can do draft. They draw like machines, and we use AutoCAD and set of floor plans for houses or buildings, and like HVAC plan, plumbing plan, electric plans, all these kind of different classes that teach them different things. So by the end, they should be able to do like a full set of a plan, for example, for a house that has all the many details, like about windows, about the elevation of the houses, different things. So this is also a program that we have under the mathematics department. It show the student how they can do machine drawing, and in the meantime also they can show them how to do like sets of plans for house or this kind of buildings.
So this would be something that would be beneficial also if you have a person that's interested like in construction, manufacturing, that kind of stuff.
In drafting, yes.
Well, but if you're working in like house construction, you would need to be able to read.
When you're gonna be able to plan or to draw these plans, you will be able to read it. That's the thing is in engineering or drafting and design, these are like kind of a language that you learn. Like when you look at the plan, there is probably a couple words on it, but most of them, they are samples. So that the thing is the student will be able to know how to read these samples and what each sample means. Dimension is a big thing in drafting and design, and even in engineering and manufacturing. So that's what we teach the student. This is the areas that we focus on when they go to drafting and design area.
Great, great, great. Thank you. Yeah, and again, this is how even within what we're teaching, what we're talking about here, it also fits in with so many other areas outside of what we're actually talking about today, because you need math for everything. You need a certain level of science for everything. Everything's computerized nowadays. So in one way or another, everything's touching just the world, and you individually are touching it. Different aspects of this. And even with the agriculture, if you like fruits and vegetables, you have to, if you like your cow, it comes from somebody in the ag department. So all of this is highly interconnected with our everyday life. So yes, somebody want to say something?
If I could add right quick about the support that we offer to our students outside of class time, especially for our science classes and ag classes as well. And I'm sure we all do this within our department. So I just want to highlight that, outside of class time, it is really important that you invest your time studying effectively, using effective study strategies that would help you be successful in whatever class it is that you are taking. And I can speak from a science course perspective. A lot of the classes are very intense, and so oftentimes students need additional time with their instructors outside of the actual lecture or their lab time. And so I want to remind you to take advantage of those opportunities. We have a lot of study sessions that are designed to meet like on Fridays when we typically don't have regular lecture time or lab classes. It's for you to go to your instructor's office hours to ask them questions if you want individualized support. There are group study sessions. Intro biology offers a lot. Anatomy and physiology, we offer additional study sessions, especially right before exams. So we kind of add those additional sessions. And for the lab component of our science classes, we routinely have open labs throughout the week. And certainly on Fridays, because we don't really have too many actual labs scheduled during that time. So Friday mornings are all open lab time where you can go in and you have a lab instructor that's available to help you with guided work, or maybe you're just working with your lab partners and kind of reviewing content again that you may have been struggling with during the week. It's important to take advantage of those opportunities.
And also with a lot of the classes in the science department, especially the ones that have that lab component, wouldn't you say it's almost like 2 classes in one? And so even though you have signed up for 4 credit classes, you really have to kind of put the effort as if it was more like a 6 credit class. If it was 6 credits work or worth of work compared to just what we would think of one class, because it's usually the lab and the didactic portion are completely different in what they're covering, right?
Yes, so I would definitely say, and this is feedback from students as well, is they constantly say, I took an intro biology class or an anatomy and physiology class, but it was almost like the lecture and the lab were 2 different courses. Okay, so some classes, some science classes, you have a lot of overlap of what you're teaching in lecture being reinforced with the hands-on activities in labs. And then you have other classes like anatomy and physiology where we partition our time, where the lab is a lot of anatomy and the lecture is a lot of the physiology, which you kind of have to focus on both sets of information in order to understand the overall concept. So yes, it does take a lot of time, studying time, and yes, it effort. And so that's definitely something that I feel like a lot of our students taking science classes, that they come to that realization after you start working with the material. This is pretty intense. Yes, it is. But we are here to help you be successful.
And that's something I feel it goes across the whole STEM thing,
True.
because it's not one of those things where you just take the class and, oh, I learned it, I'm ready to move on. Most
That's
of these
right.
fields require a lot of practice and so that you understand the concept and you really are able to apply it at all times and not just have it be something where, oh, I memorized this and now I'm done. It's really more way more than that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want, yes, Sam, yes, go ahead.
Yes, so I just want to mention something. In the engineering, there is different field, as I mentioned. There is civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, many different types of fields. But I just want to be sure, like you know, like you need to know that we are here to help. We come, reach out to us, and we can sit, you know, one by one, and we can discuss your plan, and we can help you and advise you. I have, like, you know, you can come in and ask me, like, I want to be a mechanical engineer, I want to be a civil engineer. I can tell you or help you, like tell you, you need to focus on this area more than this area, or you need to apply it there more than there. Just an advice. We're trying always to help the student. That is the main thing here. We are here to help. Our student success is our priority, is very important for us. So anytime if you have any questions about engineering, please reach out to us, and we are here to help. That's the main thing.
Yes. Thank you. I really want to say thank you. Does anybody have any last nuggets of wisdom before we wrap this up?
Are there any specific questions from the students? I don't see anything in the chat.
We don't have, yeah, I don't have a lot, but I did get a lot of how's everyone doing and this is interesting and mostly comments, not so much questions. So people are
Okay.
listening in, they're mostly just soaking it up. There haven't been any questions so far. But I know that these are some of the things that a lot of times they have the students have questions are about some of these specific components.
Well, probably the only thing I want to add as general advice to students, not necessarily taking a STEM related class, but any class, any college level class, is that you understand that it's going to take a lot of effort from you to be successful in your classes. But we are here to help you, just like Mr. Jackson said. It's important that you communicate with us, because if you do not tell us that you are having difficulty with certain topics or that you're struggling and you would like us to explain it again or work with you one-on-one, if you don't communicate that with us, then we don't know that that's what's happening, because we don't read minds. So, I mean, I oftentimes when I hear this in my own classroom, that kind of encourages me to do something a little more, right? Something different to reach out to those students. So it's important that you communicate. If not, we're gonna assume that y'all are doing okay.
Yes.
And we don't want to make those assumptions and then find out after the first exam that you weren't okay and that you needed more help, that you needed more resources. And a lot of us have all those additional resources, either via the publisher or our own resources that we put out through Blackboard. Of course, office hours, open lab time. You need to just reach out so we can help you. The one more thing that I wanted to talk about is study technique. I feel like a lot of our students struggle with that, especially if a certain study technique worked for you in high school, and then you realize that that doesn't quite work at the college level. So I think it's important that you meet with your instructor, because one study approach may work for a person or for one student, but it may not work for you. And oftentimes I take a more individualized approach where I prefer to meet with those students in person and examine how do you study and how you could maybe be doing things a little differently to help understand the material. That's one. And the second is retention of the material, because they're both important for successful outcomes on an exam specifically. So reach out to your instructors so that they can help you.
Yes.
I'm 100% agree with this. Really, it's in my opinion, I feel like the most important step to be successful in a class is communicating with your instructor. That is the main thing. And I always tell the student, if we can detect the problem at the beginning of the semester, then nothing, we're gonna try to solve it. And when I teach even mathematics, and engineering, I tell the student, if you don't tell me like you have a problem with this section, I'm gonna assume that everybody is good and everything is easy. Let's move on to the next topic. So communicate with your instructor, ask a question is very important. These are in my opinion, one of the most important step to be successful in the classes. And again, we are here to help. That's the main thing.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Oser, do you have any last words of wisdom before we finish this?
No, I do not. I just concur with everything everybody else said. Communication.
Okay, so communication. We'll keep it to that word, communication. All right. No, I think everybody that is one of the main things. And I do want to say that it was one of the main things when we had, for example, the pandemic first started, we were trying to scramble, try to figure out what to do for our students and with our students, when the pandemic started. And the most difficult thing that I found that the faculty was, worried about and was coming to me and saying is, I don't know how to get a hold of my students. I'm trying to communicate. I am calling, I am emailing, I am doing everything that I think I'm capable of doing, and they're still not communicating with me. I don't know how to help them. I want to help them, and I'm not sure how to get a hold of them. And that ended up being the beginning for a lot of other things, and us trying to do more virtual things and things of this nature. So I hope that anybody that watches this will take that into account for sure. Thank you to everybody who has been listening and participating. And even if it's just saying, hey, this is interesting, I appreciate it. At least lets us know that you're somewhere in there listening. This is going to be recorded and it will be put in the YouTube page in the future. So if you want to watch it and maybe come back and remember some of the points or some of the people that you heard and you want to remember how to get a hold of them, you're more than welcome to watch it again. It will be on Facebook and Twitch and YouTube by the end of probably the week. It'll probably be there by tomorrow or later this afternoon. Depending on when we can do this. Thank you so much to all the participants for taking the time. The faculty is super busy trying to get the students and classes going, and they took the time to do this. So I really want to say thank you to all, and you have a fabulous rest of your week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.